Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gertis, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Recon Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage. NMLS number 625918.
Well, for those of you that know us, for those of you that have gotten to know us or have had any type of real estate conversations with us over the years, you know that Ryan and I, as real estate wealth managers and as investors ourselves, as gentlemen, and the three of us, I should say, well, I wouldn't necessarily describe Justin as a gentleman, but the three of us. I could see the snicker. He knew it was coming.
We all knew it was coming. Even the people watching.
But Ryan, you and I have invested extensively in short-term rentals, the Airbnbs, the VRBOs. We've helped so many of our investors invest in short-term rentals and VRBOs and so forth, and still a great investment vehicle, again, because people go, well, isn't the market saturated and so forth? Again, it always just comes down to whether you buy right in location and things like that. But we are starting to see a trend of a lot of investors moving from the short-term rental, and the best way to describe that is anything less than 30 days. So that's what you see, again, on Airbnb and so forth. Mm-hmm. But we're seeing a lot of people move in that direction to midterm rentals. We're starting to see that to become an incredibly, not only a strong segment, but a strong opportunity for investors and would-be investors. And really, I guess the best way to describe a midterm rental is somewhere in between that 30-day to under 12 months.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with a little story. About a year ago, if anyone that knows me, they know my affinity for the Great White North up in Alaska. Yeah. I love fishing. I love the fact that we can spread out, and you have just all the land and all the skies and all the waters that you can do pretty much anything that you want, that any outdoorsman wanted.
And Ryan did buy an igloo. He's got an igloo.
I got an igloo. Yeah,
actual igloo.
So a year ago, we went up to Homer, Alaska. We decided to buy a place up there. Our thoughts were we were going to use it as a short-term rental while we're not there, and then we would kind of hybrid it and be able to use it when summertime came around or whatever. So that's what we've been doing. We had a very difficult first year. We had higher expectations for the winter. The winter, we ended up having one guest. Our summers, we did great. Winter, we had one guest come. Throughout the year, we lost about $22,000. This year, we said, okay, we need to reposition.
Hold on, I want to stop you. What you didn't say was, oh my gosh, let's get out.
No.
Right? And this is what a lot of investors do if they've got that rough first year or they mismanage expectations. This isn't for me. This is a terrible investment. They don't sit back and say, let's reassess.
Right, and there wasn't a whole lot of data that we could lean on. So I talked to a lot of local real estate professionals. They said, oh, you're going to have plenty of people coming here during the winter because it's 20 degrees warmer than in Anchorage and so on and so forth. And it just failed. So we had only one visitor during that winter. So what we decided to do is about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I said, all right, I'm going to throw it up and I'm going to see if we can get somebody in there from October through March. And within just a few days, I had half dozen applications. And so not only are we going to see profits from the winter now, we've also upped our exposure and upped our bookings for the summertime. So going from about a $22,000 loss from last year, we're projected to make about $27,000 out of this next year.
That is great.
And the way that these things work is they are more of a ramp-up investment. So you need to understand that when you're walking into the realm of this. So I take that information and just understand that the data you need to be able to pivot with. You need to not get scared the moment that somebody shows you or a market shows you adversity. You need to say, all right, what can I do to be better?
All right, if you have a short-term rental and you'd like some more information on how you convert that to possibly a midterm rental, or you're looking to invest into a short-term, midterm rental, I'm not going to lie, we are the team of real estate wealth managers that you need to talk to. All you got to do is text the word, short to 623AZ-RECON. That's the word short to 623AZ-RECON. Justin, I've got a similar story because you as my lender, You helped Mindy and I buy when I mean help, just gave us the dough.
Yeah.
You're the most important guy in the room.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, and so we bought this place out in Queen Creek, Arizona, and launched it as a Airbnb. And obviously we launched it right in springtime, best part. But we all know summer times are rough. You got to have a pool. You flat out. You got to have a pool if you're going to play this game here in Arizona. And so like because Ryan started talking about this whole midterm thing with me, and I'm like, okay, so I need to adjust some things. And so where I'm having the huge amount of success right now this summer, people remodeling their home and they need a place to stay for 40 to 45 days. The amount of stress, and I know Ryan knows, the amount of stress having somebody locked in there for 45 days, and she keeps bumping it out another 2 weeks, and now she's like we're meeting in an alley, and she's just giving me cash, and I love cash, man. I love cash.
Usually when I'm meeting somebody in an alley, I'm giving them cash.
What are you buying?
But it's just a change of optics. It's a change of strategy. And it's a change of understanding that there are other needs out there.
I got a question for you guys. With a midterm, are you furnishing the place?
Yes. No, you're basically taking either a current Airbnb and saying, hey, I'm going to change some of the marketing and I'm going to change some of the pricing, and say, okay, we are also specialized. This is also offered for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And Ryan, I don't know how you would feel, but I would even moving forward. Knowing that I'm going to launch a brand new short-term rental property, which you're furnishing, but even might go in with the whole concept and the idea, I'm going to really focus on the midterm stuff.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different avenues. It's not just with Airbnb and VRBO. There's a ton of platforms out there. Furnish Finders is a big one out there. If you're not familiar with that caters primarily to traveling healthcare professionals. Yeah. And so they all have 3-month contract minimums, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so they'll go in there and they treat the property like a piece of gold.
And they're never there.
Yeah, they're very light on it, and it's usually 1, maybe 2 people. And so I'm not saying anything to disrupt fair housing, but it is nice when you only have 1 or 2 rather than 5 people are doing a full occupancy with pets, so on and so forth, because they got to travel light.
Right.
They know that they have 3 months there before they might be moving off to Tulsa in 3 months. They don't know where their next assignment's going to be. They kind of take it as it comes. So it's just it's a fantastic platform, and it's really good for the diversification of your real estate portfolio to say, hey, look, not only can we be flexible on offering you a 1 or 2 day accommodations, but 3, 6, 9 months.
So let me ask you this, Ryan. Because going back to, we're basically going to be giving out free advice right now, where people don't have to text the word short to 623AZ Recon. They're going to walk away with like, okay, these guys might have really instrumentally changed for the better of my either current short-term rental or my investment strategy. But for your place up in Homer, because what happens is people who need a midterm rental, you need 30, 45, 60, maybe even 90 days or whatever the case is. I find that most people still start on Airbnb and VRBO, but they get tripped up because you're taking a look at that daily rate, and whether it's $350 a night, and now you multiply that by 90 days, that's just like really
astronomical.
It's a mortgage payment over a year.
Yeah, that's overwhelming. So, how did you change your marketing strategy so that when people were on Airbnb, VRBO, who were looking for a 30, 45 day, recognize that?
Yeah. So you might think that Zillow is the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to purchasing a home. Really, all they're there to do is sell your information.
Yeah.
But they are really good at pushing rentals. They know that those are the easiest to convert. That's the easiest information to sell. So if you have a midterm rental, post it on Zillow. That's what I did, because on the local multiple listing service, most real estate professionals, this isn't on their radar yet. There's not enough commission there, or there's just not enough dough in there for it to make it worth their while. but Zillow already has that platform. And so it's I think it was like $100 or $120, and then
Well worth it, right?
yeah. Well, you can do it for free, but if you want them to push it for you and really advocate your listing for you, you pay them, right?
You know how hard as a real estate agent it is to want to give Zillow $1 of my money.
Real hard.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the end result is more money in my pocket.
Sure, and a lot of real estate agents rely on Zillow to offer them those leads and sell your information to them. That's fine. I'm not hating on them. I mean, I think that they serve a purpose in our community, in our market, and everything that the real estate industry has to offer. It's just a lot of times they're leaned on for the wrong things.
Yeah.
Moral of the story is that's where I posted it, and it was just a couple of days and line out the door for people that were interested in it. And what COVID has taught us is that businesses and industry, there are some that can still operate remotely.
I could just keep going. So here's kind of the decision that I had to make. And you may go, I'm going to slap this guy afterwards because he's leaving money on the table,
Okay.
or you're Obi-Wan and I'm Princess Leia. I don't know.
Chewbacca.
Wow, that was good.
Okay. So I'm just like, back to my Queen Creek property. I know that 4th of July weekend is going to give me some premium pricing because it's right by Bellbank Park and it's got the pool and everything like that. Had this lady already in there for 45 days. And we've got a set daily rate, which is lower than my posted rate as a Airbnb. She wants to stay in there for another 3 weeks, which would overlap with 4th of July. My feeling is she's already a proven asset. I got guaranteed cash coming in because I met her in a back alley. I've got the cash. I'm not going to get the premium pricing. But at the end of the day, it's 3 weeks of just here's the dough.
And you're not going to have to turn it over.
Yeah.
The management element of it, you cannot buy a good tenant, right? You cannot you cannot say, you cannot just put a number on that. When you get them, you have to hold on to them. And well, I mean, obviously, they do need to pay the due and proper. You need to make sure that you're not completely undercutting the market.
Sure.
If they fed in, if she fed in and got that pricing throughout the winter here,
Dude, I've got her pulling weeds for me.
that a boy. Well, so and like in my scenario,
It's
with
going to
my
cost
home-
you cash and weeds. But
Yeah. for my scenario up in Homer, it's a couple, and they've figured out that they can still work from wherever they are, and so what they want to do is they want to travel the world. And they said, we've never even heard of Homer,
She's
Alaska.
got to figure out how to market to those people, and that's the gem that you're dropping down.
Well, I appreciate that. I learned a lot from that. And as we continue to provide advice and consultation to all of our clients that are investing in real estate, we're going to put that as part of their vocabulary.
All right. So again, if you need advice or you're wanting to enter the short-term rental or mid-term rental market, we encourage you to text the word short to 623-AZ-RECON. That's short to 623-AZ-RECON. I'll end with this question. Either of you jump in, but it's not sounding like Justin's got a lot of intelligent input on
you guys, listening to you guys talk.
Would you sit down, yes or no? Would you, and for me, I'll just say the answer is yes.
Okay.
But would you sit down with a would-be investor who's listening to our podcast and say, hey, you know what? Let's make the midterm angle part of our major strategy in buying a short-term rental?
Absolutely.
I was looking at Ryan.
I know you were, but absolutely. Why wouldn't you?
Yes, but the strategy on that is going to depend largely in part on the type of property and location.
Always.
So the other thing that I've learned about this is that there is a very good space with a more luxury property when it comes to short-term and mid-term.
There's so much that goes there. That's a great point because we're just generically talking about short-term rental. There's so much that goes into it. And if it's still, I know a lot of people are hearing, oh, I don't want to get into the Airbnb market because it's oversaturated. Again, it's about buying right. It's about location. It's about all the different options. We are, the three of us, still investing in real estate, and we'd love to have that conversation with you. All you got to do is text the word short to 623. Excuse me.
Take two.
I was trying to hold that back for as long as I could. But text the word short to 623-AZ-RECON. Again, text the word short to 623-AZ-RECON.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.